In this video we're going to look at some of the basics of course design and of task design. First of all, course structure, design and content. On some courses the content can seem to be overpowering the process of learning and teaching. If you're familiar with the course content from face-to-face teaching, it's tempting to just divide up the content into modules and dump it online. The challenge is not to import traditional teaching models in which students learn content and are then tested on it. If the course is blended and a portion is delivered face-to-face, we should think about how much should be moved online. Perhaps some parts are delivered more effectively face-to-face. Does it gain from being moved online? If not, don't move it. Printed content may still have a role in your course, and if you find that a pile of content is growing even larger, consider how you can break it into digestible pieces and what can be accessed away from the course pages via links. Now we all have access to the resources of the internet, and many of them are free, so we don't have to write them ourselves, not all of them, and spend our time reinventing the wheel. As well as keeping a hold on the content, we shouldn't allow the technology to dominate. For example, more simple platforms like Skype can be very effective for student-to-student exchanges. And no tool, however advanced, will convert content-heavy modules into an engaging interactive e-learning experience. All the tricks of zooming in and out and spinning words will distract rather than increase engagement. Some parts of the course may work better online, and we have the opportunity to use the internet for what it's good for. It offers a range of communication channels like email, discussion groups, and different channels for submitting assignments and getting feedback on them. The use of channels asynchronously offers several benefits. They help foster learner autonomy. They also help to give feedback in the form of two-way dialogue between student and teacher. And they can allow different interaction patterns within the group. The structure of the course can actively support independent learning, and we need to build in scaffolding for the online learner. Just because they may be avid users of social media in their everyday lives, we can't assume they're IT experts and they can automatically manage the learning process online. Gilly Salmon advocates a 5-stage model of scaffolding to support independent learning. The first step she labels access and motivation, where we need to ensure students have easy access to the platform, its processes and systems. And we also motivate students by being welcoming and encouraging. The second step is team building to establish the students' personal identity and to have them working in groups with opportunities to work interactively, so this tutors creating a micro-community. The third is information exchange, where cooperation is growing and each student can support the others. In the fourth stage, the interaction becomes much more collaborative and team-oriented, and there are group activities with more complex contributions. The process so far has been kept simple to this point to assess their ability, but now they can contribute as well as consume knowledge. The activities can be more ambitious and can demand critical thinking and evaluating, and also involve creativity with discovery or inventive work. The students are using and applying knowledge and practicing. The last stage is a review, and here the students are now more responsible for their learning and that of the group, and they can reflect on and review their learning. So that should be the experience of the course from the student's perspective. For the course designer standing back and taking a bird's eye view of the course, the challenge is to line up the course well. Like on a journey, where do we start? Do we think about the route, the vehicle, the destination? When preparing a course plan or blueprint, instructional designers often advocate starting with the course objectives, which may include formal assessment like exams, assignments, or project requirements. We can consider what do we want the students to be able to do by the end of the course, and what does successful performance look like. Then we can create storyboards for each module and block. What tasks, activities, etc. do we want from each module? And then we can add content to support them. Another challenge is to give the course a coherent look and feel with an appealing design and accessible writing style, so it looks as if it's been designed by one person. Let's turn to the design of individual tasks. Lindsay Clanfield and Jill Hadfield's book Interaction Online highlights a range of choices we have when designing tasks. First of all, content. Should it focus on topic or language practice, or whatever relevance to the type of course you have? Then there are the activity types, focusing on maybe personal or factual information, creative or critical types, fanciful, maybe based on fantasy situations in which the students use their imagination. Then there are choices about the stimuli. Do we use pictures, questions, audiovisual text, maybe puzzles or challenges they have to fulfill? And finally, interaction patterns. Is it going to be student to student, whole group activities, chain reaction, jigsaw tasks, subgroups in breakout rooms, and so on? Going on to giving instructions for an activity, how do we organise that? It's recommended that we break each activity into separate tasks, give separate instructions for each part in a separate post, so the students aren't overloaded with instructions. Also, setting a deadline for the completion of each separate task, so giving clear deadlines. So a final note, there's no single model, no neat prescriptive model. Course design depends on your teaching context and the people you're teaching.